So the overwhelming majority of my fragrance purchases are blind buys. I mean, basically 100% of them. Every so often, I'll end up acquiring a sample of something from somewhere, usually thrown in like one of my orders that I place. That was a blind buy. And then every now and then, I'll get to test something first before I pick it up. But again, 9.5 times, 9 3/4 times out of 10, I'm going into this stuff completely blind. And so with that type of approach, you have to prepare yourself for a lot of fails, for a lot of fragrances that just let you down, right? When you're just going off the note breakdown, or going off of reviews, or going off of hype, you get it in and it doesn't smell all that great to you personally. It's something that's going to happen. But along those lines, I've also ran into so many amazing fragrances, blind buys that completely exceeded my expectations in ways that I never even thought was possible. And that's what we're going to be covering here today. We're going to be going over some of my favorite blind buy jackpots. Basically, when I smell these for the first time after just kind of rolling the dice on them, I was so impressed, just so blown away by how good they really were. So I would say for the most part here, a lot of the ones in this video are going to be blind buy safe. If you're in the market for some of this stuff, if you know what you're into and you have a general idea about your taste, you could probably pick these up. But this should also go without saying that you should also be smart. And if you can sample first, that's also not a bad idea. First up, a scent that's gotten a fair bit of hype and sometimes can be a little bit hard to get. It's L'Homme Ideal Eau de Parfum by Guerlain. It's got almond, cherry, vanilla. It's just super one of a kind. It's unique. Nothing else out there really like it other than some of the other flankers, of course. So you get this kind of dusty, powdery smell from the almond. The cherry gives it this fruity sweetness up top, and it dries down with some hints of vanilla coming in, kind of adding on to that sweetness. It's something that's very classy, very upscale, kind of has this elegant smell to it, something you could wear dressed up in a suit and tie in the fall and winter time. You're gonna smell amazing. Oh, and I will link all of these fragrances down below to discounters as well, so you can pick these up at the best prices possible. If I'm referencing any pricing here in this video on any of these, that's gonna be at discounted price, so use those links to get the best deal. Next up, we have DIOR Higher. Not sure how well this is going to show up, but it's DIOR Higher. Now, they did change the bottle. This happens to be the old style bottle. Now they changed it to just a glass bottle, you know, looks more modern, just looks more normal, I guess. This is kind of a funky looking bottle, but it's cool. Has like this aluminum casing around the bottle. The atomizer, you literally just push down right there and it comes out. I just tracked one of these down on eBay just to kind of have this older style. But you know, just go on discounters and buy the new one. I'm sure they're gonna be incredibly close. I have Higher Energy in the new style bottle. Stuff smells great as well. Pear, rosemary, basil, and cypress are a few of the notes in this one. So it's aromatic mixing with some fruity notes, and it smells amazing. Very summertime oriented, even though when you look at that note breakdown, you may not think it initially, given all of the aromatics, but it really does just have this fun in the sun, like summertime smell. Kind of reminds me a little bit of some of the John Varvatos artisan fragrances, although this did come first, so I guess the artisan fragrances maybe took some inspiration from here. Just the aromatics, you know, kind of like an artisan blue, almost artisan aqua type of smell, although again, this one did pioneer that type of scent. Just kind of reminds me of that, although just higher quality. It has its DIOR twist on it. In that same vein, if you like some of the artisan fragrances and you want something that's of higher quality and a little bit more polished and well-rounded, check out Higher by DIOR. This is a blind buy and a really good one. I've covered this one on a full review already, and so I'm going to go and throw it in the list. It is LATTAFA EJAAZI Intensive Silver. So this you can get if you're, you know, playing your cards right, $15, $14.99. For, I'm pretty sure this is just 100 milliliters, and it's an eau de parfum, okay? $15. When you feel the bottle alone, it's got some weight to it. It's incredibly hefty. I mean, if you drop this on your foot, barefoot, you would be in pain. Like, it's that heavy. And the reason why this is so special is that it kind of smells a little bit like La Nuit de l'Homme Bleu Electrique. Yeah, do you guys remember that one? Came into the community, didn't even make it a whole year, and now it's gone. That one. And I'm sure if you tried to buy that on eBay, it would probably cost you well over $200 or something. Don't do that. So it's Lannoy de L'Homme for kind of with Lannoy de L'Homme Bleu Electrique, somewhere around in there with maybe a little bit more of a kind of ambroxan twist thrown in as well. It's kind of where this one sits. But for the price, I mean, it's seriously impressive stuff. Everything down to the bottle like we've talked about, but also, of course, the most important part, the scent. The quality for the price is decent. Performance is decent. And all around, for the money, this is a great pickup and a great blind buy. You're going to be hard pressed to find a sample of this one. That's just one of those things that's already so cheap. Just pick up the bottle. I think a lot of you guys are going to be super happy with it. Next up, we have JOOP Wow up next. Always fun. Always fun. Love the look of the bottles on these. Even in pictures, I thought they looked really cool. And in person, they're pretty neat. Basically, the cap kind of just, it comes off, if I can get it, but it's like see-through. So it just covers up the atomizer so it can't get pushed in transport, but you could still actually push the button on the inside and spray it, and it just goes all around in there. Not that I've done that, but theoretically you could do that, I'm sure. I don't know for sure. Now, this one has balsam fir, cardamom, cashmerean, and vanilla. So it's kind of traditional meets modern in a way. You're mixing some aromatics with some sweeter, spicier notes, and I think it works out really well. I really like it a lot. This is another one that you can usually get for a decent price, and at the end of the day, I would recommend you to get this one if you want something a little bit different, a little bit out of the ordinary, something that will stand out more in the fall and winter time seasons. Check out JOOP Wow. Next up, we have Le Male on board. So we got bergamot, geranium, and tonka bean. I believe is actually the only 3 notes that they really give us here with this one. That's all you need to know, though. This is kind of one of their summertime versions. Now, I don't know why, they completely did away with the Popeye, Superman, summertime formulation, because that stuff is amazing. And this doesn't really smell like those, but it's kind of the closest to that. Within that same ballpark of still having some of that Le Male DNA just freshened up. I mean, you can get something like Aviator and in the Navy and stuff like that, and those are summertime as well, but they're much more different than the whole DNA. One of those I think is super violet leaf heavy. One kind of smells a little bit like CH Min of all things, and so just isn't in the same vein. But this one is kind of going to be your next best thing if you want something somewhat close to Popeye or Superman. You just want a summertime version within that realm. This is the one to get. I also really like this one a lot. I believe this was a 2020 release. Is that what it was? I remember I picked it up as soon as it became available, and I've been impressed with it ever since. I like wearing it in the summertime. Even though it has some of that sweetness, it works out really well. Opens up nicely, gets very fun and kind of bubblegummy and playful in the heat, which is something I enjoy. Not everyone would, but blind buy success for me. It actually exceeded my expectations a lot, and that's saying something because there are so many flankers in this line. Next up, the new L'Homme Eau de Parfum. We're getting this one on board here. It's got bitter orange, oak, and cognac. So think L'Homme Eau de Toilette, kind of the yellow tinted one, and add in some boozy notes, add in some richer notes. That's what you have here. It is truly a great Eau de Parfum flanker because they are completely changing it, right? You're still getting that L'Homme DNA, right, where it all started, but just more rich, more mature. And honestly, the coloration of the bottle, or rather the fragrance inside of it, perfectly resembles the scent of this one. And when you compare it to the original L'Homme, the best way to look at it is that the original L'Homme is great to wear during the day, to school, to work, just your typical day-to-day Monday to Friday operation, right? Perfect for that one. It's super inoffensive. So whether you have an office job and you're close with people or you work outside or whatever, the original L'Homme just works. And then L'Homme Eau de Parfum is kind of that one where you gravitate towards once it's Friday evening, right? Working all day, L'Homme Eau de Toilette. Friday evening comes around, going to go out to the bars, going to go to a party or something, spray L'Homme Eau de Parfum on right over the top of the OG, and now you're ready for that environment, right? You get that richness, a little bit of that sweetness, that booziness, that cognac and oak mixture is delicious in here. and you're set to go. Easiest way to put it. It's a great combination and a fantastic blind buy. Next up, Polo Supreme Leather. So of course we're gonna have leather. We're also gonna have some tonka bean, a little bit of honey in here. So we're getting leather with some richer, syrupy, sweet notes, and it works nice. It really does. You get the honey, you get the tonka bean together, but nothing that stands out too much. Like there isn't just too much honey making it super syrupy sweet. There isn't too much tonka bean making it really powdery or anything like that. It is a perfect balance of those sweet notes in conjunction with the leather, which is a relatively mild, easy to wear leather, something that's very mass pleasing. You know, at the end of the day, this is a Polo fragrance, a Ralph Lauren fragrance, and a lot of their fragrances are going to be very designer friendly, very general public friendly. None of them go too far out in the realm of starting to smell weird or getting into the niche side of things. I mean, they're trying to stay, you know, very trendy, and they do a great job of walking that line, putting out something that's going to be, you know, attractive for a fragrance enthusiast, but at the same time is also going to be attractive for just your average consumer. They did a great job here with this one. If you like leather fragrances and you can find this one for a good price, definitely pick it up. All right, running down to the end, we have Prada Luna Rossa Ocean. Lavender, iris, and bergamot are some of the main notes. Really, really like it a lot. That opening is incredible. It's kind of juicy, fruity, a little bit sweet. You know, they're utilizing that kind of amberwood, ambroxan note with the bergamot. It kind of has this cooling and almost refreshing type of smell too in the opening. This is a scent that will definitely cool you down in the summertime. Now, you know, ocean might be a little bit misleading. It's not aquatic to me. You know, it doesn't smell like an oceanic fragrance like Acqua di Gio or something like that, or Bulgari Aqua. But nonetheless, I think the bottle, the deep blue tint to it does suit the scent very well. You know, this is, I guess, more comparable to something along the lines of a YSL Eau de Parfum if you wanted to compare it. Now, I'm not saying it smells exactly like that one. There are a lot of differences. But if you were to compare it to a blue fragrance, that's the type it would be compared to. There's already Carbon, which is a Sauvage, you know, type of smell, EDT, EDP, whatever. So, you know, they're not going to go in that direction. It's just kind of a sweeter blue fragrance with aromatics in here and iris, also giving it kind of that sweet smell a little bit, kind of changing it up. Nice change of pace here, introducing that note into a blue style fragrance, and it works really well. Second to last fragrance, we have Layton by Parfums de Marly. So you guys already know vanilla, apple, and cardamom. Man, is it good stuff. And of course, you know, I blind bought this one just because of the hype, right? People were wanting me to start covering Parfums de Marly, so I bit the bullet and I jumped in. I waited a good while to get this one, and after smelling it for the first time, I was pretty upset that I waited so long, because I could have been enjoying this one for a lot longer. But whatever, hindsight is 20/20. Now I have it, now I love it. Well, I've loved it ever since I first had it, right? But you get the idea. I wear it a lot in the fall and winter time. A lot of good clones out there as well that I've featured on the channel. If you want to save yourself a substantial amount of money, that's the way to go. But if you have the money to toss down on the real thing, that's always nice as well. Quality, performance, and everything here on this one is unbeatable. And if you like warm and spicy scents, this is a no-brainer blind buy. You will be super happy with it. And with that, we'll end this on a cheapie. I believe you're going to be looking at typically $20 or so for this one, 100 ml, and it is just Lacoste Pour Homme. Plum, vanilla, and rum are some of the main notes. So pretty interesting note breakdown on this one. You know, this isn't a flanker. This isn't anything like that. It's just literally Lacoste for man, right? And it has this fresh lavender with this fruity plum and then this sweetness in there. It is a big spectrum of notes. I mean, when you look at the note breakdown, I believe there's quite a few to this one, and notes that are all over the board, as you saw from the three I just gave off there. So you get that vanilla rum, giving it that sweetness, a bit of a booziness, plum coming through, giving it a fruity top note, lavender, clean smell, right? It's quite unique, and again, at this price point, that's something that's pretty rare to find. Blind buy friendly. Again, for something of this price, you're going to be hard pressed to find samples of it. I mean, by the time you pay for a sample and shipping, you might as well just buy the full bottle. And if you don't like it, just toss it out or something. I think most of you will like this one if you want something a bit different, wearable, clean, fresh, with a sweet balance. Pretty cool stuff. Alrighty guys, that's gonna do it for me. That is 10 fragrance jackpots, or 10 blind buy jackpots, where when I got these in after just picking them up on a whim, they exceeded my expectations by a ton. I will provide links to all these down below. That's gonna do it for me. Thank you so much for watching. Stay safe, stay healthy, and we'll see you tomorrow with another one. Take care.